kind of goes up. It basically goes up. So if I have this in full crow brake, it's totally disappeared from this. But actually, I'm an idiot. I should have put that back down. And this doesn't matter. Put that back down. When I bring this, yeah, you can see it now really good. Okay, because it doesn't shut off this. It doesn't shut off the elevon on this side, but it does shut off the crow brake. So if I'm crow braking, okay, let's just say, let's say that right now there's no crow brake, okay. My aileron's actually set at 0. That's what this, when you're actually seeing this this bar on the side here, that's actually telling you what's happening to that aileron servo. So in this situation, this is actually raising it up. I know it shows lowering on here, but it's reversed, so it's raising it up. So as you see the bar dropping down, it goes there, and I'm at full crow brake. I'm at full deflection, okay, of whatever I had it set to, like whatever the degrees is up here, okay. Now when I throttle up past, and you keep watching it, throttle up past 50, boom, see it go back to 0? So basically that crow brake is now bouncing to 0. But I still have control with my aileron, as you see here. And if you look at this, when I flip this switch right here, I'm actually raising it up over here. And as you see, my crow brake is barely engaging. Well, it's engaging, it's at full. But if I go full throttle, it only brings it down so much because I still have it up here. See that? That's pretty cool. I actually learned a little bit more just by going over it here with you guys. So I didn't really see that before, but now it's pretty cool. You can actually watch it. So now I'm going to exit out of here. That was all 5 mixes for that. Now I will show you channel 7, but it's exactly the same as channel 2. It's a complex mix. It's got 5 mixes, but the pages are actually, the curve is actually the opposite direction. This is just, you have to set this first mix to the source aileron, and I have to actually switch it to a negative to make it turn the other way. So it's actually reversed aileron source. Is that channel 7, which is AUX 2 on that channel. So that's the first mix, and then the rest of the mixes should be the same. The rest of the pages here, see. Page 2 is actually your dual rate aileron, okay, that's going to do the same thing as the other one. And then page 3 is your F1 mode. Remember, we're bringing up our aileron. You can actually see it work too on the actual the bar on here on the left is actually what the servo is going to do. So when I raise it up, and on this one it goes the opposite. The other one you saw it go down and disappear. This one's actually going past the 0 up, okay? And we can actually show the crow brake again here. Actually, I had crow brake open, but, well, the throttle's up. So let me bring the throttle down and I'll show you crow brake. See, crow brake is actually, see crow brake bring it up? Crow brake is bring it up, see? And then I told you when I put this up, so now it's up even higher. But here, I'll show you the crow brake while we're here, and I'll show you the throttle. It should pop it back to 0. See it pop it back? Boom. And that's going to be all on that fifth page. Because we'll go to page 4. 4 is even higher, okay? And 5 is your throttle switch. It's that throttle cutting it off. You bring the throttle up, and bam, she goes back down to 0. It's really, really awesome. This setup is so simple and so cool to mess around with. It's just beyond me, man. So channel 7 is pretty much the same as channel 2. Those are your ailerons working together. Now we're going to go to flaps. Now flaps is default channel 6, which is this mix switch over here, okay? So we're going to go into that real quick. It again has 5 mixes. Now we go to here. Page 1 is going to be mix 0. It's telling it, hey, I want you mix 0. I want you mux and replace. It's like a train track. We're switching again. Boom. We're not adding. We're switching. Okay, now mux, I want the flaps to do this. They're at 0, okay? So you go down. Source is none. I believe it's none because this is default channel 6, so you don't have to do a source. It works. The curve is fixed, okay? And the scale is 0. Scale is 0 because we want it to stay there at 0. Okay, there's the offset, nothing, and then trim. Okay, that was page 1. Now page 2, okay, it shows it up even higher. Okay, up is actually positive, and again we talked about this before in my other video, that positive flap is actually coming down, and it's you know, it's a touchy subject because people are like, wait, why is it going down? That's negative. It makes sense because it's a positive input, and you know, you're actually adding positive flap. It makes sense. So there's page 2, and mix ones, that's this guy right here, and you'll see it jump. You see when I move this here, this is the switch actually moving, and then that's the actual servo or the channel moving down. So it's basically telling it, hey, I want you to go, and it looks confusing because you're like, well, it's not moving anywhere. How is that moving? It's because it's the other page. Remember, when we were in mix 0, the flaps were actually at 0. Okay? But when they're at 0, for some reason, this is where the bar is. That's just where it is. That's the location of it. So when you go down to 1, it actually moved across here. That was the switch moving across. And the servo was actually moving to this mix right here, which is where that is located. Okay, I know it gets confusing, but I'll show you again. And it's a replacement mux. Source is none, because it's a default. That's your default. Curve is fixed, and then scale is 50%. Now the next one, page 3, we're going to full deflection now. Okay, so we're at 0. Okay, then I'm going to bring it to the next one, the 50%. Now I'm going to bring it to 100%. Now it actually went the other way. I don't know why I did that, but that's really confusing. I don't know why she's doing that, but I'll have to research that and see how that even works. It looks like it goes past that position. I'm not sure. But anyways, we don't want to confuse anybody. But that's mix number 2 all the way down, and then that's replace, and that's none. Actually, it's because aha, I'm glad I checked that. Here we go. I had my crow brake aux 4, which we haven't got to that yet. I had this turned up by mistake. So now that it's turned down, flaps are at 0, and you can look, you can see. So I was actually had an input on there by accident. So as you can see, the bar is at halfway, which is basically flaps are, you don't want flaps up at all, so flaps are at mid position. So when I bring this guy down to 50%, it goes 50%, which is really, on this scale, well, actually, the scaling is 0, negative 100, positive 100. So midway is 50%. So then we're going to go full deflection. Now it's 100%, and it works. The source is none still, fixed. This is great. I love this. I never really paid attention to this graph before. It really helps, guys, to look at that graph. That's pretty neat. It tells you kind of what's going on. Now we're going to go to mix number 5, or let me see, 3, actually number 4, I'm sorry. 4 is your crow brake, okay? 4 mix, remember this has to be 0 for it to work, which I found that out. This actually, I guess, takes over crow brake. So, or actually, when you're in this position in 0, now your crow brake actually works. See it? It brings it up. I guess that's why it jumped back before, because in this position is really when it works. Okay, see how we're going full deflection? Okay, now we're going to go down to, it's a replacement. It's an aux 4 is the actual source. Remember, all before we had no source. Now we have aux 4 source, and we have the greater than 0 curve, and then we have 100 scale, and then 0. Okay. So now, page 5 is our throttle. Remember the throttle cutoff? Or did I say cutoff? Throttle switch, replace, and it's a throttle source. It's a reverse throttle source. So basically, when I have crow brake, I'm moving this up or wherever I'm at. If I throttle up like this, you'll see it jump right here. The switch engages, and then brings it back to 0. It brings this guy back down. So it's actually just, it's not actually moving here. Okay, the switch, if I didn't have that switch on, or excuse me, you can't see the switch. If I didn't have the switch to throttle, if I had it to some other switch, like right now it was on, this action right here, it would actually move to this position. And this happened to me before. It would actually engage the flap full down when I start moving this thing. And you don't want that. That's just crazy. So the switch, fortunately, the switch actually engages past halfway. And boom, when the switch engages, this is going to be already down in this position to 0. And that's what you want. You want it to pop back to 0. That was my biggest issue when I tried to set this up. I wasn't doing the right switch before. I think I did a switch aux4 and it didn't work. It was acting all crazy and twitching and going nuts. Once I figured it out, I was like, hey, let me just make my throttle the switch. It worked great. So that's the flaps for all those 5 mixes and how to do them. Now the last 2 I'm going to talk about are the throttle cutoff up here, which I have an aux5, and the gear. So we're talking about throttle. What do we want to change? We want to change the throttle. So we're going to go to the throttle channel, okay? So we're at the throttle channel, and then we have expo and dual rate. So we go to expo and dual rate, okay? Our source is throttle. I know you're thinking, well, why would you have expo or dual rate on throttle? This is why. It's easy. It's already set up for you. It says, hey, it's just begging for a throttle cutoff. So on high rate, we're what, 1 to 1. So we don't really change the high rate, because high rate is, hey, high rate is give me throttle. That's it. Give me my full range of my throttle. Okay. So now we're gonna go down to the other rate, which I put a switch aux5. Now you watch this. Okay. You see the throttle move. The throttle is moving along a 0 curve. Okay. So the throttle is moving, but it's not moving up on the y-axis. So you're not getting any. You're always staying at -100 no matter where you are on this line, because it's a fixed curve. It's not a 1-to-1 curve. And our switch is actually a reverse aux5. Okay. Now, so that means when I bring this guy up, as you see, well, it's not going to show me. It's not showing me on this one. I don't know why. It's kind of funny. It might show me on here. No, it doesn't. If I go back to low rate, it might show. Well, it shows this, but it doesn't show this moving. It's very interesting that it doesn't show that. I don't know. All the other ones it showed, but this one it doesn't. I guess maybe throttle is different. Okay, maybe because of just the nature of it. But anyways, that's basically it. You're done with the throttle cutoff. As long as this switch is past, 50%, it engages. And now we have throttle, okay, on our high rates. So now I'm going to exit out of this, and I'm going to talk about gear. Gear is channel 5. Channel 5, I wanted to set up a safe switch, okay, for gear. We have 2 mixes on there, so we got 2 pages. The first page, okay, it shows us a lateral or a linear curve here, okay. We're going to go down. And it tells us, in order to go in the up position, we have to be in gear 0, okay? That is our switch to engage this curve to bring the gear up. It's a replacement mux, and our source is actually reverse rudder dual rate 1, because I wanted my gear over here. So this gear switch actually is an arming switch only. It doesn't move the gear. It just says, hey, I want you to come up gear, so I'm going to put you there before I take off. Kind of like this throttle cutoff switch. I'm going to rotate you before I start flying. So this is in the up position. Now we're actually armed to raise this up. And you'll see it disappear. The bar on the right is the actual gear servo moving, actually disappear. See it? This is a switch right here moving. And then this bar on the left is your actual servo moving, okay? So now we're going to go down. It's a 1-to-1 curve. Scale is 100 because we want up or down gear. We don't want anything in between. Offset 0, and then that's it. Now, I wanted it so I didn't have to worry about this switch while I was flying. So if I accidentally hit this switch, and I explained that in the video before, if I accidentally hit this switch, I don't want to say, crap, bring my gear down, it's not coming down, then I have to hit 2 switches for gear down. So basically I set up for an arming switch, or 2 switches for gear to come up, but only 1 switch on the way down. So no matter what position this guy's in, and I'll show you on the mix, page 2 is basically switch is the DR0 rudder DR0 switch all the way, which is all the way down, and look where the source is. It's a replacement mux, and the source is rudder. So the source and the switch are one and the same. So it's basically like an override. This is an arming, and then this is an override. So it doesn't matter what the heck position this is in. It says, hey, bring it down. It's coming down. And that's pretty much it, guys. It's pretty simple after that. The hardest part was those damn ailerons. But that's it. You know, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Comment below any questions. You know, I enjoy the comments. You know, whether they're criticisms or not, I can take it. I'm a grown man. It's all good fun, you know. And please, if you are looking for a decent radio, pretty good, I mean, damn good price. You're not gonna find a 10-channel radio. Not to drag on Spectrum or any other companies. They're really good radios, but you are not gonna find nowhere near 10 channels for under $200 anywhere. Wakira's done me right. I used to have the Wakira. I still have it actually, the 2801 Pro. Great radio. I've had it since 2011, I believe. Great ass radio, man. I still use it, but I just needed another channel, and I actually found this and got 10 channels, and that's just amazing. And that firmware, that deviation firmware, is just insane. You can control different other. You can control a Spectrum radios as long as a DX2 or I think it's I think it's DSM2 and DSX, I believe, are the protocols for the Spectrum, and you can control them with this radio. It's great. So thanks again, guys. I hope this video wasn't too long. And the Ruckus bring it out. Keep flying, and thanks a lot. Bye.